All right, I think I'm gonna... There's eraser bits everywhere. Hello guys, and welcome to my channel. So I am really excited because I have the cutest paint palettes I've ever seen to unbox and test out today. So let's give it a try. So I saw these on Amazon. They're by Peter Paul Rubens and they're their artist's transparent watercolors. But the thing that really called me to them was that they are pink. I love cute things and I was like, oh my goodness, these are the cutest watercolors I've ever seen. I need to buy them. But there was one other thing that really pushed me over the edge to buy them. And that is that there are glitter colors. And when I actually ordered these, I thought that I ordered the glitter colors, but it turns out that I must have hit the wrong button or something because the actual regular watercolors showed up instead. So I just ordered the glitter colors and kept the original ones, and now I've got 2 of them and we can really play with them. So I'm gonna open them up. Okay, so this is the glitter palette, which actually came in more of like a glittery, shiny packaging, and then the regular one came in the regular packaging. It came with this cute little cloth, and I'm wondering if this is almost supposed to be used like a paint rag. Be kind of cool. It feels like a cleaning cloth, like for cleaning your glasses. Next thing I have to do is individually unwrap all of these paints. The labels on these are just stickers, so what I'm doing is I'm peeling them from the top and then I'm flipping them around and sticking them to the bottom. That way I know exactly what color is in each pan. So during this time, I just want to take a moment to thank the sponsor of this video. So the sponsor of this video is Skillshare. I have talked about Skillshare a bunch on my channel. You guys know that I have used them in the past myself and I do really enjoy their classes. Skillshare is an online learning platform with like thousands of different classes on pretty much anything that you can imagine. They only are like $10 a month if you get the yearly subscription. So super affordable, and there's just a lot of good content on there. And one thing that they actually have right now is they have a bunch of these classes for Adobe Fresco. So if you don't know what Adobe Fresco is, it is this new app that Adobe has just come out with for the iPad. I've definitely started hearing some buzz about it, and I am super excited about it myself. Basically, if you have Photoshop CC, it should come with it, and then there's also a free version as well. So if that's something that you had been wanting to try out and you have an iPad and you're not sure where to start, I would definitely check out the Skillshare classes. One in particular that I thought seemed interesting was this digital illustration class, because that's really going to teach you the basics of how Adobe Fresco works. So if that sounds interesting to you, if you want to give it a try and you have that free version of Adobe Fresco, then if you would like a free trial to Skillshare, make sure you check out the link down in the description box below. There is a free 2-month trial if you just click that link, so you can try out Fresco, do all of that for free. So yeah, thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring this video. It really is so helpful to my channel, and it is what allows me to purchase products to review for you guys. So without any further ado, let's jump back to the video. Okay, so all of these are unwrapped, everything's set up. I'm really excited about these. They're so small. This is the one that I really wanted, the beautiful like metallics. I was just like, oh my gosh, these are so pretty and cute, and the little pink case makes me so happy. Like, I want to try them and see if they're actually worth it. Okay, so if these aren't, I'm pretty sure that you can buy individual cases on Amazon. I definitely saw pink on there, and I think there might have been blue as well. I also saw a few different varieties of these paints that looked suspiciously similar without the Paul Rubens branding, and my mom actually ordered some. Now, I haven't compared them myself, but she seemed pretty happy with them, so I will link everything down below, both the Paul Rubens paints, the empty palettes, and the unbranded ones that my mom found. So these are the 2 different palettes. Like I said, I got the glitter one and I got the regular one, and they both did come with these little color charts, but only the regular one the regular one didn't have real names on it. Like, it just had numbers, and then obviously it had like Chinese, and then the glitter one, it did have names on it. I'm not really sure why the glitter one had names on it and the regular one only had numbers, but that's okay. I did actually find a list of the colors of the regular one online, although I don't know if it's true or not, but it was pretty easy to figure out what the colors were just based on looking at them. So I really wasn't able to find too much information in the Amazon listing. However, from what I can find online, these are supposed to be single pigment watercolors, which is super, super encouraging to hear because they are very, very affordable. And single pigment is definitely a lot better. You're not going to have as much muddying when you blend them together. The more pigments that are in your watercolors, the more that they can muddy when you mix them together. Because, for example, if you have like 3 pigments and you don't know what all those pigments are, you just know that the color is like purple, you don't know how those pigments are going to interact with the red that you're mixing it with. So it can end up in muddy colors, so it's a lot nicer to just use single pigment watercolors. It says they're fluid and transparent and all of those things that they say about watercolors. They came in these cute little boxes, which I really liked. But let's give them a real test and see how they hold up to some actual painting. All right, this color is called A430. Okay, it's black or Payne's gray. Looks like black to me. Nice and dark. Okay, off to a good start, off to a good start. I mean, it's black, so that one was lighter than I thought that it was gonna be. Okay, if you use this directly on the paper, it leaves pink on the paper, so don't do that. But you can wipe your brush on it. Too much water. This is why I'm so bad at making swatches, because I feel like getting a consistent water the entire time is somewhat difficult for me. Ooh, green! It's exciting to swatch watercolors without a color list because a lot of watercolors look very different in the pan. Like they'll look dark in the pan, you know? I'm not too worried about going outside the lines because whenever I go outside the lines, I'm kind of able to see how translucent the paint is by how much of the black line it covers. Purple! Also, I was never very good at coloring in the lines. Last color. Looks like we've got a ultramarine here. Okay, so first swatches, most of them are looking pretty transparent except for A234, the yellow ochre kind of color. That's somewhat opaque, but still not super opaque. So A334, which is over here, this reminds me of like a burnt sienna kind of color, but it's definitely more light. It's definitely a raw sienna type color, and there's a slight bit of opaqueness in this one, but overall I would say they look decently translucent, so we're off to a good start. Okay, so I have my glitter swatches here, and I totally messed up on shiny blue and wine red. I did wine red first, which was totally wrong, and then I put it above it when it was supposed to be below it. Then I had to put shiny blue up here. I'm a mess. But these are really pretty. They're all kind of have very different finishes, I would say. So the flash purple has a sort of very glittery surface. You can see the almost like silver glitters in there. However, the shiny blue has a very, very metallic surface, and so does the royal gold. And the flare red has a very highly glittery surface as well, like the flash purple. The rest are kind of more of a subtle metallic, the green, blues, reds, and purples, and oranges, nothing too standout-ish there. And then the pearl silver white is a really pretty light white kind of iridescent color. So I'm really excited to use these in some actual artwork and kind of see what I can do with them. This color right here I think is absolutely beautiful. Okay, so I'm going to be testing this on the B watercolor paper. I almost always test paints on the B watercolor paper because I know how it performs. I have a bunch of it. It's really affordable and they come in nice small sizes, so I can do something a little bit more compact. So I kind of have an idea of drawing a rose window and kind of having a girl at the center. So it's almost like the stained glass is coming out of her head, I guess. And that way I can use the metallic and glitter colors for the stained glass. I did something similar to this in a previous video. I will link it in the little eye if you'd like to check it out. But I tried a bunch of new art supplies from Amazon. I had some metallic supplies to try, and it was really pretty, and I've always liked it. So, you know, it'll be good to try something like that again. Okay, that was rough, but I'm semi-happy with the face. I've mostly destroyed the watercolor paper, but like, we fine. I think I want to give her really like swoopy hair. Swoop. Wait, that's not what I want it to look like. None of this is what I want it to look like. What is happening? There we go. Swoopy. Center part, definitely. Because I'm going for a very sort of like symmetrical composition here. But obviously I want to keep it somewhat interesting. So I like to try to make the face a little unbalanced. You know, I have one shoulder a little higher than the other. And I'm going to have the hair kind of obviously flow in slightly different ways. I think she's definitely got like a dress on. Like, I think this is a kind of historical. I don't know. And a giant piece of jewelry. I'm here for it. Yes, girl, bling it up. Okay, now I have to kind of flesh out this window a little bit more. So I think I want to look up some references of rose windows for some ideas of patterns and designs and stuff. Okay, so let's give it a Google. Rose window. Images. Ah, they're so pretty and complicated. Mine's definitely got to be simpler than this. Okay, a lot of these kind of like almost mandala-like shapes. Some circles. Well, these are kind of cool. There's a lot of like almost like floral motifs. This guy has some like crosses, not religious crosses, but like X's. And then, yeah, the like circles have like scenes in them. It's kind of cool. Okay, all right, I'm feeling pretty inspired right now. Oh, this one's really pretty. Look at that. That's gorgeous. It looks like the sun. Okay, I think I'm going to separate these up a little bit more because most of the rose windows, the segments were pretty skinny. Mine are kind of chunky, so let's make them a little skinnier. I feel like I'm fat shaming my rose window right now. I don't like it. Sorry, rose window. You're beautiful no matter what. All right, let's start with, I think I should, yeah, okay. I'm gonna go around here with the circle so that I can make sure that everything's ending where it should and I'm being consistent. Put an inner circle in here. And then I want these to be petal shaped. I think I've gone a little bit, I think that needs to be a little smaller, yeah. Oh, that's looking pretty, I like that. And then I'm gonna put some circles in each of the ends of these. And I think I'll put a little circle, yeah, like a little circular kind of stripe. I think inside this center circle, I need to add a little bit more interest. And I've seen a bunch of these kind of what are they called? Like it's like three little dots. I don't like that being right at the top of her head though. So maybe I will do something a little bit different. Yeah, I'm actually gonna maybe continue these down. That seems like the simplest option. Because I don't want too much going on behind her head. It looks like generally these kind of continue up a little bit more. But sometimes they split. I think that might be cool if it split even more. Because the more sections there are, the more colors I can use. See the plan here? What I'm thinking is these can end in this kind of like oh, nope, I don't like that at all. Nope, 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 nope. That was a bad idea. Okay, all right, let's try it this way. Okay, and that's better, but it's not lined up. Ah! It kind of looks like a fidget spinner, honestly. I'm gonna keep it in. One's a little too close, but do I care enough to change it? I guess I do. Okay, we got some trifoil thingies happening. I think that's what they're called. And then I want to do like another kind of bumpy thing. But I think I want it to be opposite of the first one. Okay, and then I think I'm gonna have the lines stop after this second one, and I'm just gonna fill the space with some shapes. Okay, so I have my sketch here. I'm gonna go ahead and ink this, and then let's try out these paints. Oh, I also wanted to give her a little headband thingy. I forgot about that. Okay, cool. Dope! Okay, so I got my inking done, and I am ready to go in with the paints. Let's start with this guy. So I'm gonna go in with the skin first. When I'm mixing skin tones, I tend to use 3 colors minimum. I'll use a yellow, usually a lemon or a cadmium yellow, depending on if I want the skin to be more warm or less warm. And then I will use a red, usually an alizarin crimson or a deeper red if I can, but sometimes I'll use a nice cadmium red light. Then the important thing is I will add in a touch of blue, and I prefer cobalt blue for this. And what the blue does is it basically imitates the idea of those blue veins under your skin, and it tones down the skin tone and adds a touch of realism. While that skin tone is still wet, I drop in some blush. I make the blush by adding just a little bit more red to the existing skin tone. That keeps it a little bit more natural. And then I use that original skin tone, just very light and watered down, to go through and blend out that blush. Once I had all of the kind of base layers of the skin in, I decided to go and figure out what I wanted the pattern on this stained glass window to be. I thought that it would be most helpful to lay down the stained glass window in the regular paint first and then go over it with the glitter paint. That way the glitter paint is going to have the most opacity that it can possibly have. That color underneath is going to kind of shine through and give it even more luster and color and saturation. And also it enables me to kind of plan out what I want everything to look like beforehand. So I'm just going in with those colors. I started with the red because I knew I wanted that really metallic red. And then I went in with purple because in all of the rose windows that I looked at, purple was pretty prominent in a lot of them, and I love purple. It is one of my favorite colors. Purple and blue are my favorite colors, so I had to use purple, especially because I wasn't really planning on using blue for this either. I also knew I wanted to try out the gold, so I decided to do the darker gold down at the bottom and put that in with the red for the little dots. And then I alternated that in the little kind of like stripy area. And I also went ahead and threw some gold in her pendant because I was like, I'm gonna go ham with these paints. Like, I'm excited. I also lied because the first color I put down was pink, not red. Now I'm putting down the red. By the way, let's talk about this. This has switched to a voiceover. That's because the audio for the second half of this video got corrupted. Isn't that fun? Isn't that super fun? I think that's the funnest. So now we're voiceovering it, but that's okay because I think it enables me to kind of explain my process a little bit more to you guys because I'm going over it from hindsight, not necessarily the current moment. So I wanted the brighter yellow more in the outside, like the edges area. I started with more of the darker colors on the inside, and then I decided to put the lighter colors outside. So I went in with a brighter yellow for the base of that. And for the other alternating color for here, I wanted to use that really pale kind of peachy pink because that was a really unique color that I don't see a lot, especially not in metallic palettes. And I was like, yeah, I need to try this. I was very excited about it. Thus far, my impressions of these paints, by the way, very, very favorable. At this point, I am currently very, very excited because the paints are laying out really, really nice and smooth and even. I don't think I had like any problems with cabbaging, honestly. Obviously, none of the areas that I worked in was very large. This is a pretty small piece, but the colors really did lay down very, very smooth and flat, and the washes were really, really nice and flat. They are also quite pigmented. Like I said at the beginning, it was pretty easy for me to get a nice bright color and definitely translucent, which I was just very pleasantly surprised by how these worked, honestly. I wanted to keep everything pretty simple because I was going in with so much glitter and metallics that it made more sense to keep everything overall kind of flat. And I felt like it would just match a little bit better that way. I didn't want anything to compete. So I just went in with one really simple layer of shading for the face, and I just used a slightly darker version of the skin tone. A lot of times I won't even darken the skin tone. I will just use it again and with a little bit less water. Once I lay it down, I can kind of go in with a slightly damp clean brush to blend out some of the edges. And once it was all dry, I went in with some rosy pink, made the same way as the blush tones to define the mouth. I left the hair for one of the last because I really had no idea what color I wanted the hair to be. And I ended up going with more of a dark blue black. That enabled me to use some of the blues in the palette, which I hadn't been able to use in the background really or in the skin other than just that little touch. And while that was still wet, I went in with an even darker version of the shade and I started adding that everywhere just to kind of like establish where the overall shadows are. I think it's usually important to establish the overall chunks of the hair before you get too detailed with the fun strands and things. This also gives you a nice soft look in some areas, which is really helpful because I find that if you want your hair to look nice, it can be useful to combine a soft shading and kind of hard shading. If you look at your hair, there's usually a lot of soft diffusion, but there's more defined areas of shadow where the strands are individually highlighted or shaded. So that's kind of my technique to approaching hair. For the dress and the jewel, I decided to go in with a sort of periwinkle color. I thought I would keep her more cool overall because the rose window behind her was so warm. It's mostly those reds and those pinks and those golds. There's a couple purples in there, but overall it's very warm. So I decided to keep her cool because it's almost like she's somewhat shadowed by it. I didn't worry too much about lighting in this in terms of making her look backlit or anything like that because I wasn't really shading the window. The window was going to be flat metallic. I viewed this piece more as a flat kind of, I want to say iconography almost piece than an actual scene that she's part of. The rose window is more of a pattern than it is an actual window that's shining light on her, if that makes sense. So once the hair was dry, I went in with that darker color and really defined the individual strands. And you can see how I only had to really go in and define a few different strands to make the hair really start to come out. I tried to keep the shading everywhere else really subtle. This was a fight for me. Keeping shading subtle is not my strong point, you guys. Like I just love shading and I end up adding so many different layers of it, and it's difficult for me to not, to stop that extra gene. So finally, we get to use the glitter paints. I'm so excited. I'm just excited. I was excited at the time, and I'm excited now because these are so fun. So the first thing that I did, and I always recommend doing this with any kind of metallic paint, is I used a dropper and I just dropped some water into the paints and let it sit for a few moments, and that kind of softens up the pigments and you're able to get way up more opacity and glitter and metallics that way. So I always recommend doing that. I do that with my fine techs as well. And once that had sat, I just went in, started with the pink, which was super pretty, and then I just went ham with all of the glitter. This one, oh my gosh, look at this. Look how glittery that pale pink is. I mean, it was wet in that shot, but oh, you guys will see. I have some more shots of the glitteriness later, and you guys, the glitter paints are so worth it. I really like the regular paints. I think they're worth it as well. I think they would be a great beginner paint, but the glitter paints, They're so pretty. I love them. I'm going to use them all the time. It's really exciting because I have some metallic paint palettes, but none of them are as pigmented as this except for the Fine Tech ones. And the Fine Tech ones that I have are all gold. I do have some Kuretake ones. I have a couple different brands that I'm not really sure that I can even remember. None are ones that I use super regularly or that come to mind, but the only ones I use really are the Fine Tech ones because they're the only ones that I feel like are really pigmented and have a nice selection of colors until these guys. I feel like these have a really nice selection of colors and they're really pigmented and easy to use and I love them. And I think they're definitely going to become a new staple for me whenever I want to add metallic highlights. It's really nice to have that extra color options. I love working with different metallics in my artwork. So heck yeah, so excited that I bought these. So excited that I didn't just keep the original ones and just be like, oh, I'll just review the original ones. I don't need glitter. Of course I need glitter. What's wrong with me? I always need glitter. Everyone needs glitter in their life. So that's, yeah, I'm going to stop, going on and on about the glitter, but I like the glitter, you guys. It makes me very happy. So we're kind of getting to the end of my little test piece of these watercolors. And I think I've kind of talked a little bit already about what I think about these watercolors, but I will sum it up for you guys. Super pleasantly surprised. These watercolors did so much better than I thought they were going to. I am extremely pleased with how it turned out. You can see how beautiful these metallics are. I just think they're so gorgeous. You can see them just like shining in the light. I love looking at this piece. The only thing that I noticed was that some of the more glittery shades, so that light pink, for example, that kind of smudged a little bit over some of the darker shades. When my hand went over it, the glitter kind of went a little bit everywhere. You can see it a little bit in the hair. That doesn't bother me too much, but just something to be aware of if you do get these paints. I'm guessing the same thing would happen with the Flash Purple, but I'm not sure because I haven't tried it. Or at least I didn't use it in this piece, at least not super heavily. But I'm excited to use it in another one. So yeah, these paints, I think they're great. For the price point, $25 for the regular set. Definitely recommend the regular set. It's super cute. The colors are translucent and nice, and they're single pigment apparently, so that's great. I loved using them. Definitely going to be using them again. The size I really like, the smaller size. Like I said, they do have a larger 24 set that you can check out, but I like the small size. The glitter paints, yeah, no. The glitter paints, I love. The glitter paints, I'm so excited about. I've gone over it like a billion times, but I'm still not going to shut up about them. Definitely expect to see the glitter paints again in a video. And I think that the regular ones would be a great travel set. It'd be a great beginner set. And I definitely foresee myself using it just regularly, just if I want something that has a decent amount of colors and is relatively small and compact for my desk. So yeah. Super excited, very pleasantly surprised. Definitely check them out if you guys are in the market for some new watercolors or some new glitter palettes. I will also link the alternative one that my mom purchased down in the description box below if you want to check that one out. I hope that you liked this review. I hope that you found it helpful. Big thanks again to Skillshare for sponsoring me. I really, really appreciate it. And if you like this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you'd like to see more videos. I try to upload 2 videos a week. Sometimes things get in the way, but that is my goal. I love you guys so much. Thanks for watching. And as always, have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.